Alright, I'm going to do a video response to this comment because my spelling and typing skills are horrible to say the least. So, when it comes to the should you use two engines or whatever, I would suggest you don't, because considering you had problems with just using two engines on a paper aircraft, which means it's not going to be able to provide enough power even if it's a hang glider. I would suggest using all four engines. I actually wanted to bring up some of the videos I posted originally, my first two hang gliders I made, but I posted those videos directly to the FT forum and not FT forum, but onto the Flight Test fan group page and not to YouTube. So I went to look for them, but I couldn't find those videos whatsoever because I was falsely removed from the group. So until I get reinstated from that group, I won't be able to show those videos. So yeah, they need to someone on that group needs to right the wrong they did. But yeah. Like I was saying, I suggest using all four engines on the hang glider like I have with mine. Just make sure all the engines are just more or less pointing straight forward like mine are. Because from what I can tell, the thing will just automatically figure out the thrust angle itself that it needs. When it comes to the CG, I personally would suggest having just ever so slightly tail heavy, but since these hang gliders are but since this is like only the third one I've done, I don't know how to properly convey where the CG needs to be. But for me, this is for how big this wing is, which I actually don't know how big it is actually. I still have it forward, but not too far forward. Like I said, the only reason why I add the little tail right here in the back, which I actually pulled off for now, was to just to make it just slightly more tail heavy. For me, what I found out is that having these hang gliders just slightly tail heavy, that way so they're always in a high alpha, it would be best because with the way these hang gliders work, the wings need to puff up like this. Because if they don't puff up like that, they're not going to fly properly. One thing I would also say to do is do not use the quad I'm using right here, which is the Airhogs Racing Drone quad, or just any Airhogs quad for that factor, because they're all ducted jets, and these ones don't slow down that good. I would suggest if you have a Harps in your area to buy the $40 quad Harps cells, because if you use that thing will be incredibly slow as a hang glider. The only reason why I'm using the Airhog quad is because the props are protected. That way, so this thing hits the ground, the props won't bust. That's the only reason why I don't have the two original hang gliders I made, is because the props on them gave way after so many landings. Let's see. Now on to my personal. I think I got everything, but if you need to know anything else, let me know. Now on to what I want to talk about with the way my hang gliders work. Now, one thing. Oh yeah, actually, first there's one more thing I need to state. One thing Peter Pohl forgot to mention in his video is the type of quadcopter controls you need to get. Because here I have two quads. Well, technically one quad, but this is the controller for the quad I use for my hang glider. Note how you can use full unmodified throttle control. This is the best way to do it. Do not get a quad that has controls basically like a console controller, because give me a second. Because the instant you turn this thing on and you do this, the props are always spinning. So there's no way to tell the thing to shut off if you need to completely shut off, other than just hitting the emergency stop. And hitting the emergency stop just fudges everything up. I do like this little quad, but I'm not converting this into a hang glider. This allows you full unmodified throttle control, so if I just Well, like I said, just don't get a quad. Just don't get a control. Just don't get a quad with a controller like this. It wouldn't be that well of a hang glider to work with, especially if you're be flying around first and second graders. The one thing that really stinks about these frames when it comes to building them out of popsicle sticks is they are incredibly light and they're strong on the leading edges. But every single time these things come to land, what will happen is that they'll just do this. For like the first few times, it's no problem, but after like maybe the 5th or 10th time it does this, the straws will become very, very brittle and break. So I'm thinking that I'm going to go and rebuild this thing rebuild the main wing all over again. But I'm going to be building this superstructure piece right here, just out of barbecue skewers. And I'm just going to keep the leading edge popsicle sticks because that'll be the strongest way that this wing can support itself. That way so that when this thing crashes, it doesn't do this. So hopefully I answered all the questions you need me to answer, but if you need me to answer anything else, just let me know. But like I was saying, I suggest using all 4 engines, and I also suggest using a quad with normal propellers. That way, so it can fly incredibly slow. This one doesn't really fly slow due to it being a ducted jet. But yeah. Hopefully this helped you. Hopefully this helped you out, even though it's 7 freaking minutes long. Sorry about that.